I think Mruchka threw up in the basement.
What do you mean you think she threw up? What else could it be?
I don't know.
What does it look like?
It looks like barf or cat food or whatever.
Did you clean it up?
No, I wanted to tell you about it first.
Why do you have to tell me before you clean it up? Just clean it up.
Okay, I will after the show. Are you ready?
Ready?
Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Hi, and welcome to the Barbara and Walter show. I'm Walter.
And I'm Barbara Kozakiewicz-Kiwa.
And you can sing the show beginning song.
Yeah, everybody, it's time to dance. It's time for the Barbara and Walter Kozakiewicz-Kiwa show.
So, when I picked up the car from the mechanic, the radio was playing the rock and roll radio station.
Oh, when did you start listening to rock and roll?
I didn't. One of the guys working on the car probably turned on the rock and roll radio station when they were doing the test drive.
So did you switch it back to the older music station, or did you keep listening to the rock and roll?
Well, I wasn't happy that the radio was on the rock and roll radio station, so I drove back to the mechanic shop to tell them.
You drove back just because the radio wasn't on your favorite radio station?
Yeah, when I dropped the car off to get it fixed, and the radio is on one radio station, I expect the radio to be on that same radio station when I pick up the car after it is fixed.
What is the big deal, Walter? It is not hard to turn the knob or press the button to go back to your radio station.
That's not the point. Everything should be the same with the car when you pick it up. It is like when you take a shaggy dog to get a haircut. After the haircut, it doesn't look like the same dog anymore, but it is the same dog, even if it looks stupid with the new haircut.
That is a terrible comparison. It doesn't compare to the radio in the car at all. If you would have said that when you picked up the dog, it meowed instead of barked, then you would have maybe made a point.
That's stupid. You cannot make a dog meow, just like you cannot make a cat bark.
No, but you can make a cat barf like Mruchka did this morning.
So anyway, the mechanic came to the car and he changed the radio back to my favorite radio station.
He must think you are crazy.
What? I am not going to drive around in the car listening to that loud rock and roll, the whoa, 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 whoa.
Such a big problem.
Yeah.
Mrs. Shmelter called. She and Mr. Shmelter were wondering if we wanted to go up to their cabin one of these weekends.
Yeah, maybe, but we would have to make sure that we go on a weekend when it doesn't rain, because of what happened the last time.
Oh, poor Mrs. Shmelter. But that was so funny.
Yeah, it rained so much on the weekend that when the Shmelter's car was parked on the grass, the ground got very soft and their car got stuck.
We were all packed up and ready to leave, and when Mr. Shmelter tried to drive out, the wheels just kept spinning.
I was pushing from the front because he was trying to back out, but the car would not move. So we decided to maybe drive forward, and I would push from the back.
Yeah, and Mrs. Shmelter went and stood about 5 or 6 yards behind the car.
So I was pushing, and Mr. Shmelter had the car in drive, and the wheels were spinning very fast. Then, all of a sudden, the wheels were spinning in mud, and the mud was shooting all over the place. But the wheels got some traction, and the car went forward and was not stuck anymore.
We were all so happy, and then we turned around and looked at Mrs. Shmelter, and we started laughing.
Yeah, she was all dressed nicely and ready for the drive home, but now she was covered in mud from head to toe.
We felt so bad laughing at her, but then when Mr. Shmelter got out of the car, he started laughing so hard that he was crying.
Mrs. Shmelter wasn't laughing. She was very mad. And then Mr. Shmelter got a giant towel, and he put it over her shoulders like a cape. And then he said, "Now you are super mad."
She had to put on her bathing suit and go down to the lake to wash all of the mud off.
And Mr. Shmelter told her to hurry up because he wanted to leave.
Yeah, Mrs. Shmelter said that it was a very quiet ride home in the car.
She looked like she was going to kill him when he put that towel on her shoulders.
Then she would have ended up on one of the murder shows that I watch on TV.
Oh, that reminds me. I have always wanted to ask you. On those murder shows, when the police interview some peoples, those peoples sometimes talk about baby daddy. What the hell does that mean? Is it a daddy who is a baby?
Oh no, a baby daddy is the father of a woman's child.
That's stupid. It should be baby's daddy. The lady should say, that guy is my baby's daddy. Not, that guy is my baby daddy. What happened to the S after baby?
I read that baby daddy actually originated in Jamaica way back in the 1960s.
But it makes no sense. If someone's grandpa owns a lawnmower, they say grandpa's lawnmower, not grandpa lawnmower. When you make the meatballs, they say Barbara's meatballs, not Barbara meatballs.
Yeah, okay.
So that's it. You are fine with it?
I don't know what you want me to say. I don't make the rules.
Well, all I can say is that I can always understand what they are talking about on my favorite TV show, Gunsmoke.
Oh, yeah, that was always perfect grammar.
What?
The cowboys always said things like, I ain't got no. That is a double negative.
So what?
It shouldn't be, I ain't got no meatballs. It should be, I don't have any meatballs.
Who the hell ever said I ain't got no meatballs on Gunsmoke?
No one, Walter. I'm just using meatballs as an example.
It should be something like, I ain't got no gun. They would maybe say that on Gunsmoke.
You are missing the point. I am just saying that I ain't got no is not good grammar.
What if it was, I ain't got no baby daddy?
That means that you do have a baby daddy, because I ain't got no is a double negative.
What?
Oh, never mind. Are you hungry? Would you like a snack?
Sure, maybe after the show. All that talk about meatballs is making me hungry.
Oh, so you would like some meatballs?
No, something else. So, the newspaper boy told me yesterday that he will not be collecting the money for the newspaper anymore.
Oh, so it will be free?
No, we still have to pay, but I won't be giving the money to the newspaper boy. We will have to pay on the computer, or I can send a check in the mail.
Well, it makes sense, because the newspaper boy said that you and Mr. Snowball down the street were the only two people who still paid for the newspaper in cash, and you were the only one who still gave pennies.
I have to get rid of them. I have 3 jars full of pennies in the closet.
You should roll them all up one day and take them to the bank.
I did that one time, and they didn't accept it.
Walter, that is because you rolled them into 5 long sausages. You probably had $5 or $6 worth of pennies in each paper roll.
It was $6.50 in each roll, and I wrote that on the outside of each roll.
You are only supposed to put 50 pennies in each roll.
Why? That wastes the more paper when you have to make more rolls for the pennies.
It is easier for the bank tellers to count when there are 50 in each roll.
Pretty soon, no one will know how the hell to count. And now that we will have to pay for the newspaper on the stupid computer or with the check, even our newspaper boy will forget how to count.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that after all of those years of counting your pennies and nickels, that he is probably now qualified to be a math professor at a university.
Yeah, sure.
Did we get any messages this week?
Yeah, we did. www.barbaraandwalter.com. Here, you read the first one.
The first message is from Sharon in Erie, Pennsylvania. Sharon asks, Dear Barbara and Walter, if you could make a TV show about your best friend's life, what would you call it?
Oh, well, my best friend is Mr. Trotz. So, I would call it the Mr. Trotz Show.
No, you have to be more creative than that. Make the title have something to do with his personality or something he does.
Well, what would you call a show about your best friend, Maria?
Well, unfortunately, Maria has a habit of buying me ugly things. Like the picture frame that she bought me for Christmas, or the blouse that she bought me recently. I think that a show about Maria could be called Buying Badly, or Heart in the Right Place.
Since Mr. Trotz is always helping to fix things for us, maybe a show about him can be called Fixing Things.
But Mr. Trotz also breaks things when you go to the hardware store.
Oh, yeah. He always likes to break the cheap merchandise and throw it back in the bin because it is cheap. Maybe we will call the show about Mr. Trotz Fixing Things and Breaking Things.
Yeah, that is a good title. Thank you for the question, Sharon.
The next message is from Murray in Fillmore, Utah. Murray says, what one normal thing becomes weird if you do it more than once?
Oh, I think that it is normal to die, but it would be weird to die twice.
Oh, that is true, Ba. That would be weird.
Yeah, everyone goes to the funeral and everyone is sad. And then a week later, you get the phone call. Guess what? Frank died again. What?
Yeah, that would be strange. I think that one normal thing that would be weird to do more than once would be to get the vasectomy.
That would be weird.
Frank, where are you going? I'm going to get the vasectomy. Didn't you get the vasectomy last week? Yeah, but I want to make sure that it worked.
And Frank, didn't you die last week? Twice?
I also think that it would be strange to get the appendix taken out twice.
Oh, that would be strange. Thank you for the question, Murray.
Okay, go ahead and sing the show-ending song.
Yeah, sorry to leave, but this is the end of the Barbara and Walter Kozakiewicz Kiva show. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I am going to drive to the newspaper place to drop off the check.
Why don't you just put it in the mail?
It gives me something to do.
If you want something to do, why don't you roll up all of the pennies that you have in the jars?
I'm busy. I don't have time to do that. Maybe I should just take the jars of pennies to the newspaper place and say, here is the money for the newspaper for the next 4 or 5 months.
You do that, and they'll take a picture of you and do a story on you called Idiot in Town.
Yeah, and then they will take a picture of you and they will call it the idiot's wife or something.
And then they will take a picture of Mruchka and they will say, the idiot, his wife, and their cat.
And then they will take a picture of our house and they will call it the idiot, his wife, and their cat, and their